Welcome to the Broke Investor. 10/11/22. I am not a financial advisor, which I probably tell that with the title, couldn't you? But doing better, but still hospital bills, everything. Momentus Inc. A Momentus is a Spac, SPAC, that has not been talked about much. For some reason, it's huge. It's going to be a big area. I think we make some money on the stocks. It's an untouched area. Like a last mile, and the growth is non-potential. There's a video following all this. I could break it down for you easy, but try to go down the list of things so you can understand it better. Need more YouTube on these later. The merge of the Momentus is a commercial space company offering in-space transportation and infrastructure services. The merger agreement with Stable Road Acquisition Corp. Stable Road. Becoming public listed. The combined operating company will be named Momentus Inc. They be listed in the Nasdaq and trade under the ticker symbol MNTS. This merger is to create the first publicly traded space infrastructure company at the forefront of the new space economy. Momentus partners and customers include SpaceX, which was a part of that one, Lockheed Martin, and NASA. I bet none of that surprised people, but that's some of the big ones. There's some other ones too. Momentus to become publicly listed through a business combination with Stable Road Acquisition Corp. Nasdaq SRAC. Stable Road. The combined company will have an estimated enterprise value of approximately $1.2 billion and will become listed on Nasdaq under the ticker symbol MNTS. The following expected transaction will be done. The transaction will close in early 2021. So you might want to buy it now when it's low, like $10. It's a little bit higher now. I think it'll be that. The transaction Momentus just $10. Momentus has a $300 million in cash on the balance sheet to be funded by Stable Roads. $172.5 million of cash held in trust, assuming no redemptions, and $175.0 million from a fully committed common stock PIP at $10 per share, including investments from private equity, growth investors, family offices, and select top-tier public institution investors. Momentus graduated from the prestigious Y Combinator program and has raised venture and private funding from investors like Prime Movers Lab, Y Combinator. What was that? No, Y Combinator. Travel Capital, University of Wyoming Foundation, Lerner Enterprises, Tony Robbins, Joe Montana's Liquid 2 VC Fund, and others. They have a great growth potential. This is a very abbreviated version for you. The current size of the global space economy is expected to grow from an estimated $415 billion to $1.4 trillion by 2030, driving demand for transportation and infrastructure services in space. One of a kind. Momentus addresses the need for in-space transportation and infrastructure services. Basically, you need a satellite or orbit somewhere, and just they can piggyback on our rideshare with SpaceX, and then they can finish relieving it the satellite where you need it. What is Momentus? I briefly just told you that, but Momentus customers include satellite operators, satellite manufacturers, launch providers, defense primes such as Lockheed Martin and government agencies and NASA. September 30th, 2020, customer contracts represented approximately $90 million in potential revenue over the next several years. Momentus has created the first hub and space model in space by offering last mile delivery in partnership with key launch operators, including SpaceX. I'm pretty sure that did not surprise you. Momentus offers affordable access to space by combining the capabilities of low-cost launch vehicles and Momentus transport and service vehicles provided by water plasma propulsion technology. Keep it on that part, water plasma propulsion technology. In 2019, the company successfully tested this water plasma propulsion technology in space. Matter of fact, they still got one up there. Momentus plans to offer a satellite as a service model for hosted payloads and an in-orbit service model for satellite deorbiting, life extension, fielding, and repositioning. And they also got some bigger satellites for last mile, which they handle bigger ones, more weight, like ones 750 kilograms, it can hold up to 1,653.47 pounds. So they're preparing for just about any contingency here. They have launch dates right now, December 2020, February, June, December 2021. And some of this came from the halftime report. The halftime report is going to be at the end of this. It's a video. It works right.
Publicly traded space infrastructure company. Brian Cabot is CIO of Stable Road Capital, whose Spac with Momentus, the company with an enterprise value of around $1.2 billion, lists on the Nasdaq. Brian, welcome. It's good to see you.
You as well, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on the deal.
Thank you very much.
Why Momentus? Why the space economy?
Sure. Look, the U.S. economy is obviously fairly starved for growth. We're very long in a cyclical recovery here, and space is probably the most interesting and unique growth avenue in the U.S. economy. We're looking at $415 billion in revenue today, projected to grow to $1.4 trillion by 2030, according to Bank of America. So when we started looking in the space industry, we really set out to do is merge with a high-quality value-add business, kind of a pick and shovel business that could win regardless of who ultimately wins that space race. And Momentus is really the key to commercializing and industrializing the space economy.
This company is a strategic partner with SpaceX, right? Elon Musk. So this is essentially betting on Musk and SpaceX to win that space race, as you're talking about.
It is certainly partially a bet on SpaceX, although we do work with other launch providers. We will work with, whether it's Relativity or ILS, eventually Blue Origin, but for now, SpaceX is our key strategic partner. They get us from Earth to space, and then our vehicle delivers those satellites from the Falcon 9 SpaceX rocket into their final orbit.
I get it. So that's what the so-called last mile delivery service is all about, and that's what the specialty is here.
That's right, and it's really all predicated on a patented and proprietary water plasma propulsion technology. which is the cheapest, most efficient propulsion technology for maneuvering around in space. So I think of it as the Uber pool of the satellite industry.
I got you. Okay, well put. I read that the company has contracts for $90 million in potential revenue, what you know, potential, over the next several years. What kind of risk is involved in those kind of forecasts?
Yeah, a portion of that 90 million is fully contracted, and then a portion are options that are written into the agreements. But in addition to that $90 million backlog, the company has built north of $1 billion pipeline, which we think will have a very high conversion rate here over the next few years.
You mentioned the vehicle that you have. We're looking at a launch in just a couple of months, right? In December, there's been test launches in the past, but this is the first commercial launch coming up in December.
That's correct. We had a very successful test launch. The vehicle is still flying around in space, which is great. Our first commercial launch will be in December 2020 with SpaceX. We have a pretty full vehicle of satellites to deliver. And then we have a phenomenal launch cadence for 2021, going up with SpaceX in February, June, and December 2021. We actually have 1.5 vehicles already booked for December 2021. So pretty aggressive launch cadence with SpaceX.
The other interesting note is that Momentus comes out of Y Combinator, which is a very well-known incubator, if you will. Its biggest investor, as I reported last night, is Prime Mover Labs, whose LPs are very well known to our viewers. Bill Ackman, Joe Lonsdale of Palantir, Tony Robbins, Joe Montana's Liquid 2 VC fund, among many other notable names. How did the involvement of those investors come about?
Yeah, look, it's a great validation of what this company is building, right? And so Y Combinator, obviously one of the highest quality names out there. They were really, aside from the CEO, Mikhail Kaporich, who put his own money in, Y Combinator was really first money in the door, stood the company up, and then as you pointed out, Prime Movers Labs came. They're the largest investor, and their LP base is, as you said, the kind of the who's who: Dmitry Balyazny, Bill Ackman, Joe Lonsdale, the Lerner family. They have been a lot more than just passive capital. They've been incredibly supportive investors, really helping institutionalize this company that's still a fairly young company, but in a very short period of time have become a strategic partner to SpaceX, have customer contracts with NASA and Lockheed Martin. So just this whole confluence of dynamics created a very attractive target for our SPAC.